Welcome to H. Gerstner & Sons video on how to recover a Gerstner top lid with Gerstner Leatherette. Walter Rickard, one of Gerstner's veteran employees, will demonstrate how you can glue the leatherette to the top lid of a chest. The glue we are using for this demonstration is Gerstner Hue Glue. Gerstner Hue Glue is the same animal hide glue that we use in our factory. We have packaged the animal hide glue with some other essential supplies into a kit called Gerstner Hue Glue that you can use at home. You will start by applying glue directly to the top of the top lid. As you brush on the glue, it should be a thin, even coat of glue. If there are lumps in your glue, you will need to check the water temperature to make sure it is hot enough. If the temperature is correct and you are still getting lumps, you may need to add some water to the glue to thin it out more. Keep applying glue until the entire top and sides of the top lid is covered with glue. You can see that there is a line on the piece of leatherette for the top lid. The line indicates the position that the top lid should be placed once the glue has been applied to the top lid. The line will make it easier to be sure the top lid is centered on the leatherette. To create the top lid position line, you should place the top lid on the leatherette, then measure from the edge of the leatherette to each side of the top lid. Once you have the top lid centered on the leatherette, draw a line, including the corner marks, to indicate where to place the lid after applying the glue. When you have finished applying the glue to the top lid, turn the top lid over and place the lid on the position line on the leatherette. Turn the lid over and set it on a small box or blocks of wood that will hold the top up off your work surface. Use the palm of your hand or a damp rag to smooth the leatherette. Start from the center of the leatherette. If you feel any hard lumps underneath the leatherette, peel the leatherette back and remove the debris, then continue smoothing until the leatherette is flat on the top. Once the leatherette is smooth on the top, turn the lid back over and place it on your work surface. Next, we will cut the leatherette at the corners, even with the top and bottom edges of the lid. Brush glue onto the edge of the top lid, inside the top lid on the sides, and about 2 inches into the center of the top lid. Flip the lid over back onto your support and smooth the leatherette down along the long sides of the top lid. Wrap the cut piece of leatherette from the long side of the lid around to the side of the lid and cut the leatherette, leaving about 1 to 1.5 inches of leatherette wrapped around the side of the lid. Another way you can do this is to pre-cut the leatherette to about 1 inch or 1.5 inches past the side of the top lid on the long piece of leatherette. Now, cut the leatherette even with the corner of the top lid down to the edge of the top lid. You can create a crease in the leatherette to help determine where the corner of the leatherette is to help you cut. Fold the strip of leatherette along the long edge of the top lid and smooth it down against the edge of the lid. Cut the leatherette along the inside edge of the side of the lid down to the corner. Next, make a diagonal cut from the inside corner of the lid to the outside corner of the lid to remove the excess leatherette. Smooth down the leatherette along the top edge of the lid. Cut the leatherette even with the inside edge of the lid at the sides down to the corner of the lid. Smooth down the leatherette along the top edge of the lid and the inside edge of the lid. Use your fingers to work the leatherette along the top edge, trying to smooth out any air bubbles under the leatherette. Cut the leatherette strips on a diagonal at the corner to remove the excess material. Repeat the process along the other long edge. Make sure you have marked the inside of the top lid, which edge is the front and which edge is the back of the lid, so you know which side the lock gets mounted on when you have finished covering the lid. Inspect the leatherette, looking for any air bubbles that may be trapped and need to be worked out from under the leatherette. If the glue has cooled enough that it is no longer tacky, you can add some additional glue where needed. One of the unique features of animal hide glue is that it is the only glue that will adhere to itself, which means that you don't have to remove the old glue before adding any additional glue. Now we are going to use the same process on the sides of the top lid. Add more glue to one side of the top lid, on the outside of the side, the top edge, and the inside of the top lid. Smooth the leatherette along the side and on the top edge of the lid. You can either have your lid stick over the edge of your work surface to do this, or use your support to set your lid up and work above your work surface. Cut the leatherette along the inside edge of the long side of the lid to the corner of the lid. Smooth the leatherette against the inside edge of the lid, trying to work out any air bubbles you may feel. Cut the strip of leatherette from the inside corner of the lid to the outside corner of the lid to remove the excess leatherette. Repeat the same process with the other side of the lid. Check the lid over to make sure you don't feel any air bubbles and that the leatherette is staying down. You can add glue as needed to any parts that are loose. That concludes our video on how to recover a Gerstner top lid using Gerstner Leatherette. Gerstner Leatherette and Gerstner Who Glue can be found on our replacement hardware webpage at gerstnerusa.com. Thank you for watching.